Imagine waking up and the world has completely changed. No power, no phones, and danger waiting outside your door. Would you survive the first 24 hours, or would panic take over? In this video, we're putting your instincts to the test. Stay with me. Your answer might surprise you. You think you would survive when the dead start walking. Everyone does. You've watched the movies, played the games, and you've got your whole survival strategy mapped out in your head. Here's the truth that nobody wants to hear. You're probably dead within the first 12 hours. Not maybe, not possibly, probably. 97% of people don't make it past day one. Not because they're weak or stupid. They die because they make the exact same mistakes at the exact same time, and those mistakes turn basic survival instincts into death sentences. There's no practice round, no tutorial mode, no second chance to get it right. When everything falls apart, you get one shot to not become zombie food, and most people waste that shot in the first 60 minutes. The difference between the 3% who see the sunrise and the 97% who eat breakfast isn't about being tough. It's about not being an absolute idiot when it matters most. So let's break down what actually separates survivors from corpses, because the answer isn't what you think. The first 24 hours decide everything. Panic kills faster than bites. Most people will do exactly the wrong thing at exactly the worst moment because fear feels like urgency and urgency feels like action. But panic isn't action, it's suicide with extra steps. Let's set the scene because every apocalypse is different and you need to know what we're dealing with. We're running a worst-case scenario here, fast zombies. Think about the angry sprinting monsters that don't get tired and don't slow down. These aren't the shuffling corpses from old movies. These things move with single-minded aggression, attracted by noise, movement, and light. Transmission happens through blood and saliva. One bite and you've got minutes before symptoms start. Turn time varies between 2 and 15 minutes, depending on your body mass and pure dumb luck. The only way to stop them is catastrophic brain trauma. If that makes you uncomfortable, consider how much you want to keep breathing. You're in a medium-sized coastal city in a 20-story apartment building. It's late afternoon when the notifications start flooding your phone. You've got minimal gear, a phone with half a battery, a deadbolt on your door, a cheap kitchen knife, maybe 3 bags worth of food in your pantry, some duct tape, and water still running in the pipes for now. You're either alone or with one other person. You don't get special weapons, you don't get a convenient ex-military neighbor. You get your own 2 hands and whatever is already inside your apartment. That's it. The clock starts ticking when you realize this isn't a prank or a riot or some weird flash mob. It's when you look down at the street and see someone slam into a car with a broken arm and bounce back up as if nothing happened. It's when the screams don't stop, they multiply, and they sound like animals tearing into meat. By minute 10, your building's group chat is exploding with fire emojis and conspiracy theories. By minute 20, the highway looks like a parking lot with people abandoning their cars to run on foot. The infected don't care about traffic lanes. By hour 2, emergency services stop responding because ambulances become death traps when they get swarmed. By hour 4, the power might flicker, elevators become coffins, water still runs but it won't forever. By hour 6, the air smells like smoke and copper. The first 24 hours are a sorting system. Keep your head and you might survive. Make one of the 4 big mistakes and statistically, you're done. So what are these 4 mistakes that kill almost everyone? The instinct to run is hardwired into your brain. Get away from danger. Put distance between you and the threat. Your mind screams at you to beat the rush, get to the highway, escape the city before it gets really bad. Sounds perfectly reasonable until you step into that plan with everyone else and realize you just joined a slow-moving buffet line for zombies. The obvious move, escape immediately, is a trap that kills thousands in the first hour. Highways choke within 30 to 60 minutes in dense areas, sometimes faster if there are early crashes. When traffic stops moving, the infected flow through stationary metal like water through rocks. Seatbelts that used to keep you safe now keep you trapped, and hesitation turns into teeth. Picture yourself stuck between a delivery truck and an SUV with a baby seat in the back. You hear shouting. A figure slams into the SUV next to you and shatters the glass. The blood pattern looks wrong. Doors start opening in waves as people decide they can outrun their fear. They can't. Someone pulls forward, trying to squeeze through a gap, and pins a cyclist. A woman drops her phone, and it slides under a tire. You check your mirrors, and your rear window fills with a face that shouldn't be moving. Your options compress fast. Ram the car ahead and destroy your radiator, get out and try to run, honk for help. Every single option adds noise, chaos, and exposure. It's quicksand disguised as escape. Here's what most people miss completely. Staying put in the short term, in a structure with doors you can actually control, often buys you way more control than throwing yourself into a citywide stampede. The first first 3 to 6 hours are a violent sorting between people who act on fear versus people who act on information. If you have no route, no destination, no supply plan, and you're joining a million other terrified people funneling into the same highway, you're not evacuating. You're commuting to your own death. Noise gets you noticed. Light gets you hunted. In normal life, these are minor annoyances. During the first night of a fast zombie outbreak, they become execution methods. You slam your door while moving stuff, and the sound echoes down the entire hallway. Your smoke alarm chirps because you burned something on the stove. Your phone vibrates, pings, and flashes like a tiny lighthouse broadcasting your exact location. You flip on every light in your apartment because darkness feels like helplessness. You stand in front of those huge windows like you're on stage performing for an audience. Down on the street, shapes turn toward the glow. Sound is their fishing lure. Light is their roadmap straight to you. Here's the brutal truth about apartments. They act like drums. Drop a pot and it sounds like a cymbal crash to anything tuned to motion and impact. Stairwells amplify footfalls. Car alarms cascade because some genius hit their key fob in a panic. The infected don't get bored and wander away. They shift toward concussive sounds and scan for movement. If you're cooking, your smell carries too, especially if the ventilation system is still pushing air. Even talking becomes dangerous. Your voice travels through the crack under your door, down the hall, into ears that only need a direction to start moving. The fix is boring, methodical, and keeps you alive. You go dim. Use your phone light on the lowest brightness with the screen tilted toward your body. Put it on airplane mode to silence the digital chaos. Block window light with blankets or any dark fabric you have. Tape the edges to prevent glow spillage. Don't stand backlit against windows. Don't pace in front of glass like you're trying to be seen. If you must cook before the power drops, cook once with fast, low-smell food and ventilate quietly. Boil water early in short bursts to fill containers. Then stop making steam that advertises your presence. The grocery store feels like salvation. Aisles of food, bottled water stacked in pyramids, first aid kits, fluorescent lighting that feels normal. The hospital feels safe because that's where doctors work. The police station feels secure because guns are there. These feelings are lies that kill thousands. In the first hours, everyone with the same brilliant idea crushes into the same automatic doors. The moment someone panics, and they absolutely will, gravity takes over. Arguments turn into shoves. Shoves turn into fights. Fights turn into open wounds. Open wounds turn into bites in a crowd where screaming masks the infection sounds until it's way too late. At grocery stores, chaos meets desperation. People abandon carts, spill liquids on tile floors, turn everything into a skating rink of milk and broken glass. Automatic doors jam, displays topple. Someone screams that they're here, whether true or not, and the crush toward back exits begins. Infected don't even need to enter through the front. They follow noise around the block and come through loading bays. Even if you grab what you need, you now have to carry it home through streets with the attention of everything hungry. The parking lot is gridlocked with half-parked vehicles and panicked reversing. This is where people die because just grabbing a few things turns into a last stand between cereal and regret. Hospitals are worse. They become ground zero for bodily fluids. Ambulance bays turn into slaughterhouses within the first wave. Staff gets overwhelmed and infected despite being brave to the point of tragic. Police stations get mobbed by citizens demanding protection and limited resources. When everyone realizes there aren't enough guns to go around, noise and crowding and high-value desperation create perfect conditions for disaster. You can do everything right tactically and still die because you treat your body like a machine when it's actually meat with opinions and limits. Adrenaline makes you feel invincible. That's a complete lie. You sprint up and down stairs, haul furniture alone, hold a door against pounding fists, and then shake so hard you can't thread a key into a lock. You forget to drink water because fear sits on your throat. You haven't peed in hours. Your hands cramp. You make 3 small mistakes in a row, and the 4th one kills you. Dehydration is a quiet assassin. Losing just 2% of your body water can damage your thinking in ways you don't notice until consequences speed up. Decision-making drifts, fine motor skills wobble. You fumble the latch, drop the knife, slip on a stair where sound equals death. Fatigue stacks like unstable blocks, totally stable until suddenly it's not. The temptation to stay awake all night staring out the peephole makes sense emotionally. The cost is that an hour before dawn, when you should be sharpest to make a move, you have fog in your head and static in your ears. Short-term survival is a game of restraint. Avoid the 4 mistakes. Don't stampede into the highway meat grinder. Don't announce yourself with light and sound. Don't join the mob at obvious locations. Don't burn your body and brain chasing that cinematic feeling of fighting all night. Do those things. and you give yourself a legitimate fighting chance. Objectively, short-term survival rates at 7 out of 10 if you keep your head. That number drops to 3 out of 10 if you make even 2 of the big mistakes. It tanks to 1 out of 10 if you make all 4. The math is simple. Exposure plus chaos plus fatigue equals teeth. Would you have stayed put for 6 hours or bolted at the first siren? Which mistake would have tempted you most? Be honest with yourself, because in the real scenario, honesty is the only thing keeping you from becoming a statistic. Day 1 isn't about being a hero. It's about not being an idiot long enough to see day 2.